If you only had 2 hours a day to escape your 9 to 5, what would you do with it? Well, today I'm going to show you exactly how I would go from $0 to $10,000 per month with copywriting if I had only had 2 hours a day, which I've already done because, if you don't know, I had 3 jobs at once while creating my copywriting career. So look, right now you're probably juggling a bunch of responsibilities, or you already have a 9 to 5 job, and making money online just seems like a distant dream that can never happen because you just don't have the time available to make it happen. But I was able to trade in my tool belt for a keyboard, and it wasn't because I had more time than you. In fact, I discovered something that completely changed everything for me. Copywriting has nothing to do with how much time you have, but everything to do with how you use that time. In other words, what you actually do in focusing on the right things. And look, before I show you this exact system, just know that this is not theory. I've already had multiple copywriters go from 0 to 10K per month plus, and interviewed them and put those interviews on this very channel for everybody to see. So you know this hasn't only worked for me, but it's also worked for others as well. And by the end of this video, you're gonna have the exact blueprint that I use to make over 10K per month with copywriting with just 2 hours per day. Here's something that I realized that completely changed my life forever. Jeff Bezos lost money with Amazon for decades. In fact, he was losing so much money, not making any profit, that his investors started to call him Scamazon. Phil Knight, the creator at Nike, couldn't even make payroll at one point. In fact, everyone was working for him essentially for free until he could eventually get the money to pay him. Elon Musk almost went bankrupt multiple times with Tesla, and now he's the richest man in the world with over $400 billion of net worth. But here's what separates them from most of the people watching this video, is that they understood that failure leaves you exactly where you are right now, just wiser because you went through it. And look, the reason why I tell you that is because most people use their lack of time as an excuse. And I'm here to tell you that's just simply not going to help you. So if you're ready to go all in on copywriting and actually change your life in 2025, then I'm going to give you my proven time framework that's going to help you make the most out of your time. Think of your time as a light. Most people spend their time like a light bulb, essentially just not putting any focus on everything and not going very far either. They're spreading their light, or their time in this case, thin by doing things like watching random videos, going on TikTok, and just doing research on how to start copywriting, how to find clients, how to start outreaching, things that just aren't going to overall help them. But instead, I'm going to show you how to use your time more like a laser. Because with a laser, you're essentially able to put all of your light into one spot. And this allows you to go farther than somebody who's just a light bulb. So here's exactly how. First and foremost, we want to cut out all of the brain rot and doom scrolling and instead replace it. And we're going to do this using the 3 main micro learning moments. 1 is during your commute, as in driving. 2 is on your lunch breaks or any breaks that you have throughout the day. And 3 is in the bathroom. And yes, I'm serious. I actually did all of these things myself. I was essentially able to turn my car into a university on wheels. And I was able to actually go to work and have an AirPod, just one, in my ear all day long. This essentially allowed me to get 8 to 10 hours of more education every single day. Now, not only did this make me way smarter, but it also just filled my mind with business, self-improvement, and copywriting. All I wanted to think about was copywriting because I had essentially just brainwashed myself. If you listen to 8 to 10 hours of anything per day, you're all of a sudden going to only be able to think of that one thing. I'll finish off this point with this. If you watch how someone spends their in-between time, then you'll be able to tell where their future is going to end up. Those 5-minute gaps between tasks, those are the building blocks to success. And if you stack them high enough over a long enough period, you'll be able to build skyscraper. So after T is I, which means intense focus. So picture this, you are running out of a burning building. What are you not going to do? Check your For You page, start opening up YouTube and watching some videos, creating your grocery list for later? No, you're only gonna focus on one thing, and that is getting out of the burning building. And you need to picture your current situation as that burning building. So here's how to escape with the priority pyramid that I've built for you. Level 1, which is the bottom, the biggest one, is client acquisition. Just means outreach or getting clients. That is going to take you 60 minutes per day. Next is skill development, which is going to take 30 minutes per day. And then next is copywriting in and of itself and practice, which is going to take another 30 minutes per day. Everything that I didn't just mention is busy work. So to break it down even further, let me show you how you can use this to the maximum efficiency. With just one piece of copy that you write every single day, you can use that for 3 different things. You can use it for free value to outreach to. So for example, if you create an email for somebody online, now you can use that email that you just practiced and actually send it to them, tell them that you made it for them, and then possibly once they see how good your copywriting is, they will hire you. 2, you can use that piece of copy in your portfolio. People have this false notion that your portfolio only has to contain copy that you've written for other businesses, but it doesn't. You can also put your practice copy in there or just your best pieces, because people don't necessarily care only about who you've worked for. They also care if you can just do the skill. So if you can show them a portfolio of really good emails or just copy in general, they're gonna be much more likely to hire you. And thirdly, you can get your copy reviewed in the free school community listed down below, so you can actually get feedback and pointers on how you can get better. If you use every single piece of copy for these 3 things, you're going to be way ahead of everyone else. Because what most people do is they don't even write copy, they just watch a bunch of videos. But if they do write copy, they just leave it in their documents and never touch it again. They just write it and now it's gone. But you are going to be able to use your copy for outreach, your portfolio, and for practice. And now it's time for M, which is measurable actions, the 3rd part in the time framework. Look, I used to sit in my car between shifts, just eating cold sandwiches and doing outreach. And that is where I fine-tuned the Ripple method that I'm about to share with you right now. I knew I had exactly 47 minutes until my next shift. So instead of just wasting it scrolling through my TikTok For You page, instead, what I did was I used my car essentially as an office, because I knew if I was able to do at least 25 outreaches every single day, doesn't matter where I did them, doesn't matter when I did them, but if I at least got those 25 outreaches, then I was pretty confident I would be able to get a client. And of course, most people thought that I was crazy outreaching on my phone in between jobs and on my lunch break. But I just knew what had to be done, because with every single message, I got closer to finally being able to trade in my hard hat for a laptop. And I tracked every single message I sent religiously. And then when I finally was able to quit my 9-to-5 job, I looked back at my outreach tracker. 1,747 outreaches over 59 days got me out of my 9-to-5. And then I was able to achieve freedom. Those exact parking lot sessions is what got me to $3K per month with copywriting. And then, of course, once I was able to quit my job and go all in on copywriting, I started honing in on $10,000 per month. And now, every time I drive past that parking lot, I remember. It's not about having time, it's about making your time work for you. So let me introduce you to the Ripple method that can turn 2 hours per day into $10,000 per month. It works very simply. You track your inputs and you measure your outputs. R stands for rapid daily actions. So remember, we have 2 hours. But with that 2 hours, not only do we want to focus on what we do in that time, we want to focus on how much we get done in that time. Example, for the 1 hour that you should be outreaching, you should be able to send at least 25 outreaches per day. And then you want to write copy for 30 minutes and learn copy for 30 minutes. Then by the end of the week, you're gonna have at least 175 total outreach messages. You would have learned copywriting and studied copywriting for 3.5 hours each. And that is the second part of the Ripple method, intense weekly momentum, which leads to the next one, which is P, progressive monthly growth. In a month, if you're doing 25 outreaches a day, you should be able to clear over 700 outreach messages per month. That's also 15 hours of learning copywriting and 15 hours of writing copy in that whole month. Now, the fourth part and the second P is performance tracking. So how many warm leads did you get? As in, how many people seemed at least semi-interested in what you have to offer? How many people did you hop on a sales call with? And of course, how many clients did you end up closing that month? Then comes leveraging the assessment. So which opening messages actually got the best responses? Which follow-ups work the best? And what methods or niches are actually working better for you now than have in the past? And guys, I'm telling you, tracking your data and actually knowing what works best is more than half the battle. And then finally is execution adjustment. This is where you refine your approach. You find what actually works best, and then you start using that and testing new things to see if you can create a better and better and better outreach system for yourself. Now, the power of the Ripple method shows you exactly how small actions over time can compound quickly. I'll give you an example. If you send 25 outreaches every single day, that is over 700 outreaches per month. If just 1% of those people are interested or hop on a sales call with you, that's 7 people per month that are a potential client. And when you start to think like this, it really doesn't seem that far out of reach, does it? But if you're gonna take action like this, you're gonna need the final part of the time framework, which is engineered urgency. Back in 2007, the iPod was absolutely crushing it. It was making billions of dollars for Apple, and it was over 50% of their overall revenue. But then Steve Jobs did something that was absolutely insane. He released the iPhone, and he knew this was going to absolutely kill the iPod's success. And his message was clear: if we don't cannibalize our own offer, then somebody else will. Why? Because he knew that just waiting meant death. So think of this as your wake-up call. Every day you don't go all in on copywriting, somebody else who is half as smart but taking twice as much action as you is closing the clients that should have been yours. So let me break it down into how to actually engineer urgency in your copywriting journey. And the first thing is aggressive timelines. So what I want you to do is think of a goal, right? An income goal. Maybe it's 3K per month, maybe it's 5K per month, maybe it's 7K per month, and create a conservative timeline. So let's say in 12 months, you want to be able to make 5K per month. Now, what I want you to do is really think of all the actions you're going to have to take in order to get there. And now that you've conceptualized that plan for just a couple seconds, do this with me. Take that exact plan and cut the timeline in half. So now instead of 12 months, it's 6 months. Then take your income goal and double it. So if it was 12 months and 5K, now it's 6 months and 10K. Now, why should you actually do this? Because your goals just aren't scary enough. Aggressive targets force creative solutions, but realistic goals just kill success. And to quote Elon Musk again, he actually says, stop being patient with your goals. Take your 10-year goal and figure out how you can do it in 6 months. You'll probably fail, but you'll be way farther than the dude who just accepted his goal was gonna take 10 years. The second part of engineering urgency is pressure creation. People are only motivated by 2 things: moving towards pleasure and away from pain. But there is a slight bias to moving away from pain. I'll give you an example. There are 2 scenarios. 1, if you make 10K per month with copywriting, I'm gonna give you a BMW. And then 2, if you don't make 10K per month with copywriting, I'm gonna take your family and everyone that you love and they're gonna perish. So which scenario do you think you would take more action in? So imagine if your family's life was on the line, and if you didn't make 10K per month, then something bad was gonna happen to them. Would you spend weeks figuring out, I wonder what the best profile picture is? Would you try to tweak and perfect every single little thing about your copywriting website? Would you watch the 20th how to get started with copywriting video? Or would you start taking massive action and start outreaching to clients immediately? Now, the question you have to ask yourself is, why does everyone's life have to be on the line in order for you to actually take action? The truth is, you're not taking action right now because you're not pressuring yourself. So instead of saying something like, I want to make 10K per month one day, tell yourself, I'm going to make 10K per month this year, or I'm going to make 10K per month in the next 6 months. And if I don't, I'm not going to buy anything non-essential until I do. No video games, no clothes, no trips, nothing. And if you really want to make this work and drive the point home, then you should tell someone else that you respect that can hold you accountable, because we're not that great at holding ourselves accountable, but we will very much be held accountable by somebody else because we know they are not going to accept our excuses. And I actually used this on one of my students that I did an interview with on this channel. We agreed that he was going to make 10K per month in 4 months. And in short, he didn't. He actually made
$18,600 this month.
And this just goes to show that you setting a date, setting a timeline, and creating that pressure is really going to push you to make the sacrifices needed in order to reach and exceed your goals. Now, that is the time framework, but you might be sat there thinking that seems way too simple. And that's actually the point. While other copywriters are sat around trying to perfect the website, trying to figure out what's the best secret outreach method, and watching their 21st how to start copywriting video, you'll be focusing on the only 3 things that actually matter: gaining your skill, delivering for clients, and outreaching. Just remember this: time doesn't create success, and neither does knowledge. Only huge, massive, and violent action can possibly turn minutes into money. While your competition is telling themselves they just need to learn 1 or 5 or 10 more things before they get started, you should be out there collecting rejections. And then in 90 days, we'll see who's right. So with that, I'll put up another video on screen, which is my 2-hour outreach video. I get it. I just said that you shouldn't be watching too many videos, but if you want to know start to finish how to start getting clients, this is going to be the only video that you need. So again, I'll put that on screen. And of course, that's it for today, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.